over to Power Play Network. Okay, okay, right. So I've been in a little bit of a transition. That's why you ain't seen me on Facebook or Candyology coaching services because I've been trying to get this studio ready for y'all. Didn't I do good? No, I had some help. Definitely had some help. The owners of this place are amazing, guys. So listen. I need to recap this today's show. Huh? Texas International Hair Show. That's where I was today. Shout out to Christina Webb with Girl Talk Salon, who orchestrated the whole Texas International Hair Show. We had such a blast, guys. And so you should see a few pictures coming up in just a moment. Okay. This was the people next to me, the booth next to me. They were 4-hour braid bar. And when I tell you these ladies were awesome, that model, she was smiling there, but she was hurting in some pain getting that hair braided. But the owner is in the blue and black, and then one of her associates, of course, is braiding her hair with the blonde hair. When I say I had a blast with them, it was amazing, guys. They came over and they talked to me about our bedroom candy products. Yes, they did. Um, and there are some other pictures coming up. Yes, I bought me some new glasses. Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, man, they caught in my hair. We ain't going to mess up the hair for the photo. But I bought some new glasses, y'all, and they were amazing. I cannot think of the guy's booth name, but I'll shout it out later and make sure that I tag them on my page. Some other things that was happening there. I saw people getting their hair done. They were getting their nails done. Oh my God, the barber salon, barber off. What do you call it? I don't know what you really call it, but they were getting that haircut. Yes, they were, and it was freaking amazing. When I say they had the ratchet music going and everybody was energetic and was like rooting all of the different barbers going on with cutting their hair, it was dope. And there was some fine men out there. This was Nikki Rose with Girl Talk Salon and with Plus Size Dallas Takeover. You guys have seen her on my show. We were talking about big, beautiful, and having sex. And that was awesome. I don't know if you remember. I'll let you recap on Candyology Radio on my YouTube page. Okay, guys? You can see that video there. There was some other things happening. Let's see. I had Kimmo sitting across from me. And there was also, I believe there is a picture with LA Runs Dallas. You know, that's one of my besties and my business partner. I don't see it on the screen yet, guys, but it's coming. Oh, that's Maisha Nicole, model Maisha Nicole. If you don't know who this girl is, you need to go look her up. She's amazing. Okay. But again, there should be a picture with LA Runs Dallas somewhere up in here. I don't know. But let's hop into it, guys. So today's topic is sex after trauma. Okay? Sex after trauma. What does that mean? That could be sexual assault. That could be rape. That could be molestation. Any of those things are considered traumatic. And I have two guests that are coming up in this first segment with me, guys. First of all, one of them, her name is Miss Nina Hemphill, and she is a 46-year-old mother of 3 grown children. She's originally from Detroit, Michigan, and right now she's all about enjoying her life, and she wrote a book about relationships, and it's called Love Journey. So she's one of my guests for today. I believe Miss Christina Worth made it into the studio. If not, we'll rock on with Nina Hemphill. But Christina, she's originally an Arkansas native. She's passionate and driven encourager, author, and mentor that resides in North Dallas right now with her daughter, Amani Victoria. She's vibrant, radical, and impassioned about empowering young girls. Through her gifts, God birthed Mahogany Angels, a nonprofit organization that Christina serves as the founder. She strives to encourage, empower, and equip young ladies between the age of 8 and 17 years age, all walks of life, to be their best self. Christina has had her share of struggles in the mental realm, but is evolving continually come from the renewal of the mind only through God's love. Through her truth, her aspirations are to encourage someone to discover their purpose, passion, and inner strength. When Christina is not changing lives, she enjoys singing, relaxing, traveling, and spending quality time with family and friends. And guys, we'll be back right back on Power Play Radio, and we'll have those guests with us. Welcome back to Candyology with Candy J on Power Play Radio Network. Click on Power TV to view the show as well. You can also view me on Facebook page at Candyology CS and comment on tonight's topics. Please feel free to share my page with family and friends. So, guys, I said that tonight's show was about sexual trauma and life after that, sex after that, right? So, let me just read you a little quote here from RAIN, Rape, Abuse, Incest, and National Network, okay? According to RAIN.org statistics, an American every 93 seconds is sexually assaulted. Sexual violence is sexual assault, rape, sexual abuse, any inappropriate and unwanted touching, forced acts of including sodomy, oral sex, rape, attempted rape, all of those things. And as you see, Miss Nina Hemphill, my BK sister, BKBC, has joined me, and she has a story to tell. So, what's going on, Nina? How you doing?
I am good. How are you doing?
I am doing good,
Yes,
girl.
ma'am.
Yes.
I'm so proud
Are
of
you
you.
loving this new studio?
I
You
am
loving
loving it. You are doing it.
Yes,
You are
hallelujah.
doing it.
You know,
Yes.
all
You
praise
gotta
be
do
to
it.
God.
Yes.
Hello, won't he do it?
Yes, you do. All the time.
But girl, you know what? I mean, this is a little serious of a subject.
It is a very serious
So,
subject.
I really just want you to share your story with me and talk about your book as well.
Okay, well, my story is when I was 13, my parents moved us here from Detroit, and we met a family. My family became really close to family. Um, my parents, let us spend the night at people's house because they had dogs. We spent the night at the house. I spent the night at the house. And while I was asleep in the bed with the guy's daughter, him and his wife was in the other room. He comes into the room and decides he wants to inappropriately touch me while his wife is sleeping in the other room. So I'm laying there and I'm pretending like I'm asleep, hoping that, he'll go away. But he's not going away. He's persistent. And he's just going to get what he wants. So finally I start moving a little bit. And I'm like, if I move enough, maybe his daughter will wake up. But no, she didn't wake up.
So the daughter was in the room.
The daughter was laying right next to me in the bed.
Oh wow! So he got in the bed with you.
He sat on the bed next to me and decided he wanted to fondle me. And I was like, okay, I have never experienced this. We didn't have this, in Detroit. My mom's from a big family. I got a lot of aunties and uncles. I've never had this problem before, so I don't know how to handle this. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep moving. And so finally, after about 30 minutes of him messing with me, then it was just like, okay, I made up my mind. I'm not ever gonna go back over to this house again because this situation made me uncomfortable. And at that point, I had made it a vow to myself that if I ever have kids, I'm gonna educate my kids ahead of time of what to do, what to say. Tell me, because the thing now is so many parents are not believing their kids, or they're choosing their boyfriend or girlfriend over their kids to the point that the kids feel like they don't have a voice. I didn't feel like I didn't have a voice. I was more scared of what my parents would do to him, considering both of my parents were ex-Detroit police officers. So I was like, oh, my daddy found out he allowed to murder this man.
Right.
So I was like, I ain't gonna tell nobody. And I mean, sadly to say that I never did tell my dad. Even he's been gone for 8 years. I never told my dad. I never even to this day told my mom. But I vowed to myself that I would not ever go through this. So I talked to my sons and my daughter when they were younger and said, I want you to tell me if somebody touch you in a certain way, say something to you, you let me know. I don't care if you at somebody's house in the middle of the night, you don't feel comfortable, you call me.
Absolutely.
My ex-husband used to think I was crazy when I would go pick my daughter up 30 minutes away from Forest Hill, Texas. At his brother house. She would call in the middle of the night, Mama, I don't feel comfortable with these folks that want to come home. He's like, let her stay. No. I need them to understand that I'm going to always be there, regardless of what the situation. I don't know why she don't feel comfortable. It could have been a little spat. It could be something major. But I'm going to be at the rescue. So here I am in the middle of the night driving to get it. Because I remember laying there and thinking, well, I could just go home, but guess what? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Right. My parents are going to be looking at me crazy. I come walking in the door at 3 o'clock in the morning. Why are you back in the house? What am I going to tell them at 3 o'clock in the morning at 13?
And how old were you at you said 13.
13.
At 13. So wait a minute. Let's rewind for a second. You said you never told either one of your parents?
No.
Who did you tell?
I never told anybody. I talked to God about it.
Shut the front door, the back, and the side.
I talked to God about it. There's a lot of things that I've never told. I never tell people, and I just talk to God about it. And I work it out with God, and I tell God, you know what, God, I'm gonna use this for your glory, for the victory. I'm just going to be that person that gives those kids a voice.
So, how did that? So when did you actually have sex then?
Surely to say, not too long after that. A couple of months after that, then I became sexually interested. And that was like, okay, oh, that sparked the interest. And I always say it's like a pit bull getting blood. It's that craving. Now you're like, oh, I had that feeling. I know he wasn't supposed to give it to me, but I had that feeling. So now I'm really interested in boys.
So was this with an age appropriate boy, or?
He was under 18. Yes.
Okay,
he was
so
in high school.
He was under 18.
He was under 18.
So how do you think that all of that affected you? So it triggered you.
It triggered and made me interested.
Okay. So did you feel like you became promiscuous?
Yes. Okay. Yes. And then I had to learn how to trust me. Trust me, because that feeling, and you gotta learn how to trust, and then you have to say, okay, you have to tell yourself the feeling that you get is not love. Once they have it, they think it's love.
Right.
But that's not love.
Right.
So training our kids that feeling that you get is not love. That's just a feeling. Love comes with action, and love is an action word. So somebody has to do stuff to prove to you they love you, and that's not taking you to the bed or doing stuff to hurt you. That's not love. Love don't hurt.
Right.
So I had to train myself. Like, I literally trained myself, because my mother, this is sad to say, because she had to raise her brothers and sisters. By the time she had me and my sister and brother, we got old enough, she didn't want to be a mother. So I became the mother. So I had to train myself and train my brother and sister on everything to do in the world of being a grown up. So yeah, I had my child at 17, my oldest son at 17. It was a lot of stuff.
So do you feel that was a result of this traumatic incident happening?
Yeah, I really do, because I wasn't interested in sex until I got here, and that happened. And then all of a sudden, okay, I want to know this feeling, but I want to know it with the right person.
Right.
And then it didn't help. I'm new in town. The cute little light-skinned girl, everybody yelling hair.
Right, because light skins are better.
it was just like she don't act like us. She's different. So
Right.
had the boys after me, and my parents weren't at home because they was working, and so one thing led to another. Here,
So you also was a latchkey kid as well, then.
Mhm.
Yeah, and see, I think that's where a lot of us had to. Like, I was a latchkey kid too, and though nothing ever happened to
Right.
me, basically because I was real scared of people.
Cannot tell.
When I know you can't tell, but I was actually scared of having sex to begin with because I was just like, no, I'm a PK,
Right.
so clank clank, keep it closed. But I was doing all kinds of other things. But we'll talk about that in another show. So, do you feel like you had PTSD at any point?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, because back then, that really wasn't a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now it is, but no, I just really was just like, okay, I have feelings and didn't have anybody to talk to. But like I said, then I just got to the point where I would go to church and then I just started talking to God about everything. Used to write journals after journals, stuff in there. Still to this day, I write journals. And I was like, okay, God, you didn't leave me. You didn't forsake me. Guess what? So everything I'm going through is for a reason.
Right.
Didn't know then the reason was everything I'm going through now. But, it was a reason. So somebody had to be the person to do it, and why not me?
Right.
It could have been somebody else, but why not me?
I always tell people what we go through is not necessarily for ourselves. Yes, you were learning something, but everything is a testimony. It's
Right.
Always, and I have many of those. Just not on this particular stuff, but I have many testimonies, and I can see that. Okay, I remember when I was going through this, but I met Nina, or I met Christina, and me telling them that story helped them to move forward with whatever that they were going through.
And it helps when someone feels like they're not the only one, because so many people,
Absolutely.
I've served a lot of positions in church and dealt with a lot of kids, and it helps when the kids know that they can trust you. I may not tell them, oh, at this age I was, someone inappropriately touched me, but I'll say, hey, you can count on me. You need to talk to me, I'm always up. You can call me anytime. You're in a bad situation, call me, let me talk to you before you decide to do something that's not good, or somebody, just talk to me.
So do you think that affected your relationship with your kids? Like, do you think you're overly protective with your children?
Not really, because I have a real open door policy with them. That my thing was I just need to know the truth. Regardless of what it is, I need to know the truth. I wasn't overly protective, but I did watch. Like, I'm on patrol.
Mm-hmm.
No, so my thing
So
was...
you already had police experience.
Yeah.
So then that happened.
Right.
And then you became... So you got to be a little...
I told my daughter, I'm watching your stuff and my stuff too, see, because we ain't one grown up in this. Ain't one grown up. Ain't no one grown up. Gotta watch it.
So how did that blossom into you writing this book? And can you tell our viewers, what this book is about?
My book is called Love Journey, and the reason I wrote the book is because everybody was calling me for relationship advice. I spent 17 years in a very abusive relationship, physically and mentally abusive, and so everybody was calling me, asking me questions about that and sex, and then I was like, you know what, I'm going to write a short book just telling everybody the tips that I tell everybody else, and just put it in the book. I didn't want to make it long. I didn't want to make it words difficult that people have to get the dictionary to figure out what the words mean. So I wanted to but I wanted to keep God in it, so I put scriptures in it. So it's basically just telling you what to do and what not to do, because you can't be in competition with your daughter, but you need to watch your friends. Because not everybody's to say you're a friend and not your friend. A lot of these people that say you're your friends are the same ones that's in your man's inbox and Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snitter, baby.
That part.
Because you're telling too much on social media. Back then,
Right.
we didn't have social media. Because he take you out to Red Lobster or buy you a diamond. Everybody in the world don't have to know about it. And when you tell everybody, guess what? They now want it. So I tell people, back up from telling everything on social media. You know what? It's best left unsaid.
Right.
Because then you mad that your friend, she agreeing with you when he do something wrong, but she the same one that's... Okay, where
The
the booty
same
stores
one.
to your house for the family functions. Then you wonder why.
Right.
So, I mean, I just wanted to educate them. I think we should support each other, and I'm big on love. To support each other. When we don't support each other, then we're against each other, and that's why we as black people cannot succeed in business because we refuse to support each other, but we go buy Chanel, Michael Kors, Tommy Hilfiger, Gucci, but you won't support BK, but you go buy Pure Romance. Come on now, you see us? We're you better
say that.
Black women trying to make a living. We eat and live off of the money, but you won't. Come on now, you'll go spend $500 on weed, but you won't spend $20.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry to my weed smokers, but you got other things to spend on, okay? Shoes for your children, clothes on your back.
You got rims on your car, but I can't get you to buy no beard treatment from Bear King. Just saying.
Looking all scruffy.
Yeah, looking all scruffy. And you know, as Science said, the beard is one of the nastiest things, so let us help you fix that.
Right.
Let us help you fix that. You should be contacting one of your beard care consultants ASAP. Because, you know, we're here. We're much more than that. When people say, here, Barry McKenna, they think just sex. And sex toys. And I'm like, but we're so much more than that.
Absolutely.
That means you don't know anything about me. Let me take you a moment. So I want to educate as many people as possible on us, what we do, and how to support each other as black women or black people. Because why not? Michael Kors ain't gave you nothing.
Right.
But you still rocking his purse.
But I want to go back to something, though. Real quick. You said you were in an abusive relationship
for 17 years.
17 years.
Mm-hmm. 17 long years.
15 years, 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, why did you stay in that abusive relationship? And do you think it has anything to do with your sexual trauma as well?
I don't really think it has anything to do with my sexual trauma, but I stayed because my mother told me, you have a baby with this man, you can go and stay on over there. And so I stayed and had 3 kids by the same man.
Wow.
And he was really good at when he would violently beat me, he would do it where he wouldn't do my face. So if he kicked and stopped me, it was all on my legs and, you know, my arms and stuff like that, stuff that I can cover it up. And his family thought, and my family thought he was the best thing on this world, but they didn't understand. Not only was he a cheater, because that's what we were fighting about, was you cheating. We go to your family function and you're trying to hit on your nephew's girlfriend. And I'm calling you out because, see, I don't know about this lifestyle. My parents didn't cheat, so I don't know about this.
Wow.
And you doing it, so of course my big Detroit mouth is going to say something, and now we fighting.
Wow.
Like, literally fighting. But, you know, he's a man, so of course he's winning. So, yeah, I mean, fought all. And then one day in my 30s, I said, you know what? We're growing apart. We are 2 different people, because he kept doing it over and over again. So, you know, it's only so many times you can say, I'm sorry, I'm gonna quit doing it. You know, you win. I mean, my ex-husband even went to the point where he had a baby with another woman during the marriage.
And he's still living?
Well, I told you I found out. Okay?
I'm just saying.
I can't tell you on TV.
You know, I'm a very forgiving person, and I say that jokingly, as far as, you know, is he still living?
Right.
But, you know, I definitely feel like it comes to a point where if you having a baby with another woman,
a whole nother woman. And the crazy part about it was the stand up for me. After he had the baby, when the baby got old enough, I helped raise the child. The child would come to our house every other weekend because I have kids, and I always wanted my kids to know their siblings. So I never told my kids that was their stepbrother. That's your brother. Still to this day, they're all in their 20s. That's their brother. They got a tight bond. You know, nobody would know. Even when we got divorced, I still had visitation to the little boy.
Wow.
But I divorced him, and then he married his mistress.
Wow. Okay, we have an email question. Let's see. Did you have a girlfriend, aunt, or mentor that you shared your personal question with between the ages of 17 to 30? Elaine, are you addressing myself? Okay, you're addressing Nina.
And no, I have plenty of aunties, but no, I wasn't close to any of them to address any questions. It was me basically being figuring it out as I go. And so now, like I said, I am the person that when I meet a young lady or a little girl, I'm quick to give you my number. I'm quick to tell you to call me. I'm quick to say, hey, if you need a ride in the middle of the night, call me. I don't need you to stay in no situation that is not good for you.
So, Nina, do you volunteer anywhere at all?
I do volunteer. I am a Make-A-Wish brand ambassador, and I also help out with my friend that does Rip the Bandage. She is a serial rapist survivor.
Wow.
So I do go out and volunteer, speak to, and mostly at church, because a lot of kids come to church and they just sit there because people don't talk to them. But they have a lot going on. They have a lot of stuff that they have to deal with. So I try to get out as much as possible and speak as much as possible to as many kids as possible.
Wow, and we thank you for that service, child, because it's very much needed.
It is very much needed.
My definite passion as a sex coach and relationship coach is to talk to kids between the ages of 6th grade through 21 about knowing your body and knowing the good touches and the bad touches, and being able to open up and tell somebody, and so much.
Well, now we just got to get to the point where we get these parents to listen to these kids.
Thank you.
I see too many times on Facebook and stuff where the kids are telling the parents, but the mom's beating the child up or jealous of the child and mistreating the child, and you just try to break me up for my boyfriend. Right. No, why can't we stand up and defend this child that's telling you that this man, guess what? There's a man on the street. There's some extra men on the street corner. I promise you. It may not be the one that you got now, but guess what? The one you got now may not be the one that God had for you in the first place. I'm just saying.
Exactly. Well, guys, we do have to take a break. However, when we come back, we will be joined by Miss Renisha Johnson, who is not only a licensed marriage and family therapist, but she's also my best friend. She specializes in helping clients overcome the effects of traumatic events. Renisha grew up in Port Arthur, Texas, and moved to the DFW area for college, where we met. She received her BA in psychology from the University of Texas in Arlington in 2009, where she completed and presented research in social psychology. Renisha completed her master's in counseling at Southern Methodist University in 2012 while studying at SMU. She received advanced trauma training in Jerusalem, Israel. With over 9 years of experience in the mental health field, Renisha enjoys working with clients who have experienced trauma and those who struggle with ADHD. Today, Renisha is located in Houston, Texas, and offers child counseling services in schools, crisis counseling to businesses, and family and individual therapy via various online platforms. To learn more about Renisha Johnson, you may email her at speakoutloudtherapy@gmail.com. And we'll be right back.
What's up, Candy? Kind of close, aren't you?
It just smells so damn good. What is that?
A few items from the Bedroom Candy men's line.
Oh, what we got? What we got going on?
Well, I've been dibbling and dabbling in a little bit of this, body spray.
Oh,
Yeah,
what's that called again?
A little bit of this Eros.
Damn, added fuel to the fire. What the fuck?
Eros, that's it.
But wait a minute. I think there was something else that you could.
Oh, you want to see the secret ingredient?
Secret ingredient. I think it's called head to toe, right?
Yeah, it goes all the way from your head to your toes, everything in between.
Oh, everything in between.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, what about this?
The moisturization of La Beard.
La Beard?
Comes from a little bit of that beard oil right there,
It's called pragmatism.
Pragmatism,
Pragmatism.
I'm pragmatic with my pragmatism.
It's beard oil that got it going. Like, you see.
No need for juices and berries when you got Bedroom Candy. I mean, that's just all natural.
Always good, girl. But, so listen, y'all. Listen. 20% off sale for Father's Day, right? So you have to buy 2 items though. Like, so Bedroom Candy has Eros for men, which is the body mist, the lotion, the shave gel, the head to toe, right? And the pragmatism. And then we got a little bit of shower gel, which I think he got somewhere up in this place somewhere. But again, it's 20% off all the way till June 30th. You need to call me at 972-670-7787 or hit me up at Bedroom Candy by Candy J. That's Candy J with a C, CANDYJ.com. Thanks.
Play Radio Network. Click on Power TV to view the show as well. You can also view me on Facebook, on my Facebook page at Candyology CS, and comment on tonight's show. So we're open to it. And of course, you can send us email as Miss Elaine did in Red Oak. Thank you so much, Elaine. As you can see, joined with us. I think you can see the show.
Wendy Williams. How you
Yes, how you doing? But before we get into it, there's the quote I saw somewhere. It says, "All unfinished psychological business eventually catches up and can create significant distress in your life." How do you feel about that statement, Anisha?
Repeat it again.
All unfinished psychological business eventually catches up and can create significant distress in your life.
I think I would have to agree with that. I think you have to confront, certain things that you've been through. It's very important. It's not I think, I know. You really do have to confront those things and really work through them. That's the important part, and it's about how you work through them and who you work with them with. That's important.
So, my bestie,
Here it goes.
tell me a little bit about your story. But I'm trying to figure out why I can't see you. We're gonna take a quick break while we take care of some technical issues. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Play Radio Network. Click on Power TV to view the show, as well as go onto my Facebook page at Candyology CS and leave any comments about tonight's show. We're back with Nina and Renisha. We were talking to Renisha, and I was asking my bestie to tell me her story.
Oh, that's where we were at. So we're talking about the sexual trauma at this point, right? All right. So I was in college at the time. I was actually going to a church, and I met this guy at the church. I was very much so at a place where I was kind of like interested in him, but he was interested in like my friend's sister actually at the time. And so like it kind of was one of those, like we were cool, but I was more interested probably in him than he was in me at that time or whatever. And so there was a point at which he'd actually come over to my house, and that's when he assaulted me at my house. And the next day, I'm pretty sure life went back to normal for me.
Right.
Right? So I really just suppressed it, didn't think about it, still kept going to church, still would talk to him, all kinds of stuff. Like the stuff that people would question, like, well, why would you put yourself in? Because you don't want to really admit this actually happened, first of all. And so I literally kept it under wraps for a while. I think I might have went to counseling like a week later or something like that. I was at the college. It was like a off-campus apartment, but it was close enough to the campus. But anyway, so I did go to counseling about it, and that's when they were like, yeah, you were raped. And I was like, strong word, too strong for me. Like, whoa, you know, it was like, whoa. And so I did not go back. I do remember that. I didn't go back. But either way, probably like a couple weeks later, a couple months later, my friend called me, and she talked about a situation with her sister. And when I tell you, the floodgates came out, and I was like, it's true, because it happened to me. Like the same exact story, everything that she was saying. And I was like, it's true because it happened to me. And that's when I started to actually experience it emotionally. Like the next day, I took pills. Like it was Tylenol. Yeah, I took Tylenol. I called my friend. And I told her what I did. She ran over, and like it just, I don't know. Ever since then, I think I've always had an issue or struggled with the thought of it, you know, and what had actually happened. Like it became a real reality in that moment. It wasn't the day afterwards. Like I told you, I went back as normal. Like life was normal for me. But no, it wasn't until it came up for somebody else, because that's when that guilt part came in. It's like if I would have said something, it wouldn't have happened to her. Like if I would have reported something, if I would have told the police, then it wouldn't have happened to her. But the reality is that was the process that I went through for myself. And I had to learn how not to feel guilty. And that took work. That was when
So, you talked about suicide ideation, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much, right? Right. So, what do you think that are the bad ways of coping with that, with some type of sexual assault?
That. Don't go take pills.
Right.
Because I think at the time what happened for me on that phone call was that you literally put yourself back in that moment at that time, so you re-experience the same exact emotions that you experienced at that time. It's not until you start the healing work to where you can actually come and talk about it in a way that it's like, yeah, it was a bad event that happened, but now I can look back on it, I can talk about it openly and just feel okay. Like I don't have a certain feeling about it at this point.
So do you think you had PTSD at some point though?
Yeah. The funny part is I probably didn't really realize it until I got into a serious relationship. Like, it's easy to conquer life on my own. Like, for me personally, it's easy to conquer life on my own. I think I was just talking to her about it. It's easy to be independent and handle and deal with the junk and, you know, pray through the junk and and then praise through the junk, because I was a dancer too. And so for me, that was my form of prayer and worship. And so I think I released a lot through dance about that particular incident. But it wasn't until I got into a relationship when sex became a priority, and when sex is important, when sex is vital. Now that's the problem.
So you talked about these unhelpful ways of coping, right? At the time.
Sorry, we don't really talk about suicide.
And so, how do you think that all of this seeps in, you know, into your now relationship? Because you're engaged, or however you want to say this at this point, but how?
Like common law marriage. That. How does it seep in? Oh gosh, that's kind of a loaded question, because there's a lot of different things that happen. Like for me, I'm emotionally, I can be emotionally disconnected a lot. Especially, it's kind of funny because it kind of plays to my advantage sometimes in counseling, because I can get in there and I can get in the groundwork, and then I can actually do it. I can get emotionally there. But then once I release myself, or once the session's over, I detach completely from it, or whatever. But that's a problem in my relationship.
So, like, I think about all of, like, the maladaptive reactions that people have. So, like, for instance, like, cocaine, marijuana, cutting, you know, doing something that helps them take away the pain. How would you say for them to actually deal with the coping? Because, see, Nina became promiscuous, right? We talked about this in our last segment, right? She became promiscuous, and that's kind of how she kind of dealt with it, right? And then now she's helping other people. Now, right? How many years later, Nina? How many years later we talking?
Years.
Right.
Over 20 years.
Over 20 years now, right? So I feel like, you know, if you do some of the things to prevent in early stages of all of this, you know, instead of not saying anything to someone and actually telling someone, do you think that those things can be prevented early on? Or do you think that whatever's going to happen is going to happen?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think life just does what it does, and I think you're supposed to go through whatever steps you need to do. Because honestly, if it would have just been like that picture perfect, oh, I said something, the police got involved, he got convicted, like, and all of that, like, okay. I mean, great story, right? But at the same time, like, I appreciate the moments of, like, when I was at my lowest point and I had no way of feeling like I was going to get out. But when I had supportive friends like you and other people in my life that were just really supportive of me at the time, like, I couldn't see it happening any other way. Mainly because, I mean, you look at the Me Too movement now, right?
Right.
People are always talking about, like, well, why they didn't say anything. It is human nature for us to want to avoid pain at any cost. Like, think about it. You get a paper cut, you know, you nurse the cut, but then you don't want to think about the cut afterwards. It hurt. Like, you know, like, nobody wants to just sit there in the pain of it all. So what you do is you suppress, and you don't want to think about it. So you just avoid, and you keep living life because that's what's normal. That's what's comfortable at the time.
Absolutely.
It's uncomfortable to think about. So why would I want to really look at it and face it? Well, you do want to look at it and face it, right? That's the initial thought, right? I don't want to look at it and face it, but no, you do, because you want to get to that healing stage, that place of peace, really.
Right. And I was looking at some statistics, which, you know, I knew already, but it just kind of bothered me. 33% of women who are raped contemplate suicide. 13% of women who are raped attempt suicide. 3-4 times more. They are 3 more times likely to use marijuana. 6 times more likely to use cocaine. 10 times more likely to use any major drugs. 38% of victims of sexual violence experience more family and friend problems. like not being able to talk to their family and friends and go hi. Have you, either one of you guys, kind of experienced that a little bit?
I can honestly say I have a sister. We're 11 months apart, and I don't talk to her. Like, I'm not even close. I'm very closed off what I tell people.
Yeah.
But I will share if you have a situation and it's, I don't want you to feel like you're by yourself. If I've experienced, I'll let you know. But just to tell my family what I've gone through, no. Like, my family still to this day, like I said, don't know, that I was improperly touched at 13. But then a lot of the abuse that I went through when I was married, I never told them. But,
wow.
Because everybody thinks you have this perfect relationship and this perfect life. And so you don't want people to say, well, what did you do? What did you do to make it happen?
Yeah.
You shouldn't have dressed like that. You shouldn't have walked like that. You shouldn't have talked like that.
And I used to take so much offense to that. That was the first question out of people's mouths. Like, so what did you do?
Right.
And I'm like, regardless of what I may have said, I did not put my hands on that man. So he had no right to put his hands on me.
Amen.
So it don't matter what I said. I was, I've told the story before on my show. My ex-husband choked me, threw me through a wall, and slammed me on the floor. We were having an argument, but you better not have asked me what I did to deserve that, because I didn't.
Right.
Just like I feel like sexual abuse, you don't deserve it. You didn't do anything. No, you weren't hiking up your skirt to say you wanted this. No, it just, they decided that that's a choice that they wanted to make. So as a counselor, let me ask you this question: what advice would you give to someone? Let's just say she's 13 right now, and this is happening.
This is happening to her.
Right now.
Who is the adult in your life that you trust? Find that person, the adult in your life. That's key. In your life that you trust.
Right.
And you keep telling until somebody hears you, does something about it.
Absolutely.
So it's funny because we learned this in what is that? I do school counseling now, and so when I'm talking to people about how to stay safe and things like that, or like inappropriate touch, we talk about it all the time. It's like keep telling. Yes. That's something that they remember, because there's something about the sound of it all. It's like keep telling until somebody does something. It's not enough for them to hear what you're saying. It's they have to go the extra mile of actually saying something.
Absolutely.
Like, I report to CPS so freaking much, because for me it's about it's about the kids' safety.
Right.
They don't always have the voice that I have. I have a big voice.
Right.
Speak out loud. Right. So that's where I'm at now. And so it's like I have a big voice, and so I'm trying to teach them how to use their big voice. So they came to me because they trusted me. So I have to do something about it, though. I can't just hear it and get scared, and you be like, oh, I'm so hurt. And I got to get over the feeling of it all, because right now what they need is action.
Right.
They need to get out of where they're at and experience something that is safe.
Right.
That is the biggest thing. Your safety is key.
And guys, before we move on to talk about some of our bedroom candy products that I brought with me, the non-sexual ones, I want to remind everyone that RAIN is the Rape, Abuse, Incest, and National Network, and we have a phone number, 1-800-656-HOPE. That's 1-800-656-4673. Again, what Renisha said: tell somebody.
Keep telling.
Keep telling. Tell somebody until they hear you.
Yeah.
And this hotline that I gave, again, that number is 1-800-656-HOPE, or 4673 is the end of that. This number that I gave, they will route you to your local helpline. Somewhere that actually you can go. What is it called? Oh goodness, lost my train of thought.
Safe place.
Yeah, no, a safe place, but there's a specific place in Dallas that they're sending some people.
Dallas Area Red Crisis Center. I used to work for them. So Darcy, very great organization. They will meet you at the hospital. If you call them, of course, if you get in touch with Rain, they'll definitely let you know. But Dallas Area Red Crisis Center, I wish I would have brought the contact information, but Either way, we can put it up.
We'll put it up later, yes.
But yeah, they'll meet you at the hospital. They'll offer services after that. So we provided counseling to survivors. Let's go with that word. Survivors after the incident happens.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that information, because I totally went blank. But guys, you're already a VK consultant, but I'm going to ask you to pass it on now. So, we have it with Bedroom Candy, Candy Barres and Arlan partnered with some ladies in Ghana, and all of our shea butter comes from Ghana. So it allows them to have teachers, doctors, lawyers, anything that's going to help in their particular area, right? So, this is called the Giving Tree line. I'm going to ask you to pass it to Renisha, because I know you've already done it.
Giving Tree.
It's called the Giving Tree line. This particular one that Renisha has in her hand is our body scrub. It's called Velvet, and it's on the screen. Giving Tree, Island Joy, and Earthly Bliss. The one that Renisha has in her hand is Earthly Bliss, and if you can just smell it smells really earthy, right? And that's one of the ones that I really like. However, you can scrub it on your hand, but I wouldn't suggest it right this moment, because then you're gonna have to go wash your hands.
Like a tingling?
No. It's just an exfoliant, actually. And you can put it all over your body, and it exfoliates. So the Giving Tree line comes in a body wash, a cologne balm, which is I have in my hand as well for you to smell. Now this one you can actually put on your hand.
And this one goes along. I love that one.
It comes in a lotion, a cologne balm, a souffle, which is a lotion, I'm sorry, the shea butter. It also comes in this Flawless, which is a shower gel, and it is absolutely amazing. Island Joy is my scent. That's the one that you have in your hand. And it smells so great and fruity and take you away.
It smells like this natural butter that I have. Not natural butter, Lord Jesus. A natural soap that I have. They have in Houston. They have the Buy Black Market every first and third Saturday.
Yeah,
Man,
I heard of
black owned products, and it smells gorgeous. It smells good.
Absolutely. So that's just the Giving Tree line, and so. The other thing about the Giving Tree line is that you can use that exfoliant every single day if you want to. I even use it on my face as well. It's something that I can use at any point in time. So you guys know how to reach me. My stuff has been flashing across the screen all day. And you may book a party with me or Miss Nina, since she's on my shows that I asked. But if you look on the screen at Bedroom Candy by Candy J, you can reach me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. There's different hashtags for all of those. @ for usernames for all of them. So make sure you look at the right one, y'all, or you won't be looking at Candy J's site, okay? But as we wrap up tonight, I want to thank you guys so much for coming. I appreciate this conversation so much. It is so needed, and hopefully we can have a part 2. I know you live in Houston.
Just 4 hours.
Yes, maybe you can come back for me soon. It is summertime. Hot on the spot? What is hot on the spot, Mr. Willis? Go ahead and pull it out for me, Mr. Willis. That is our producer. Yes, sir. It's hot on the spot. It's when you answer questions about the guest. Yes. So it's going to be you answering questions, you answering questions, and then, wait, I got to answer questions too, y'all. Go for it. Hot on the spot, real quick. Would you rather not hear or not see? Would you rather not hear or not see?
Not hear.
Absolutely.
See you come.
I would say not here.
Yes,
I need to see it.
yes, and actually, this is so crazy because my cousin is blind, and so she hears everything, and all of her senses are heightened. And that's my sister cousin, y'all. But yeah, I would definitely rather not be able to hear because I can sign to you all day, but I feel like I'm missing things when I can't see.
Plus, you got to think about it related to the topic. When you experience a traumatic event, like there's a sense of vulnerability that you don't always like to feel,
Right.
and so it's better if you could at least see it.
We have one more question, guys. One more question. Ooh, who in your family would you put in a spelling bee? In a spelling bee contest. Wait a minute. Deuce. No. That's her son.
Go lose.
Maybe Addie.
Poor girl herself. That's cute.
Probably myself, to be quite honest. Y'all know I'm an English teacher. So, I was spelling bee champion 1990, I don't know, 92, 94, I don't remember.
Wow, you said jump rope contest. That would be me.
I'm gonna say my sister. I'm not gonna do it. Put me in a competition to count the money out of his wallet.
So again, guys, thank y'all so much for coming. You can see Candyology Radio again next Sunday at 8 p.m. on Power Play Radio Network. And listen, guys, remember, Candy always wishes you love-filled days and orgasmic nights. Have a great day.
That's awesome.